the snow temporarily. Meanwhile, down to the south and to the southwest, there still are some bands of some heavier snowfall, and you see that in the very latest frame, little darker areas of blue, which indicate that we are not done with the snow quite yet, even though you get south of Interstate 80 down south of Streeter towards Flanagan and towards Pontiac, and there are some areas just on the other side, again, south and southwest of the city, where that snowfall has kind of wound down a little bit, at least for right now. Your satellite and radar showing, still some snowfall out there. Flight delays at the airport. Look at that. We're back to green. Minor delays at Midway. Moderate delays at O'Hare. Things are actually moving out there, which is certainly good news. And look where the problem spot is now in Minneapolis-St. Paul. Latest information on the flight delay status. Temperatures right now, they have not moved a lot from where they've been hovering all day. Temperatures in the 20s and into the 30s, and that's where we should stay for most of the overnight hours. All right, we've got eyes and boots on the ground. We've got Mr. Dane Placco out on the street. And Dane, you're always finding something interesting outside. What's going on there right now?
I will find something interesting just for you, Mark, I promise. I got to tell you, it's actually the snow, the intensity of the snow has pretty much dissipated quite a bit from when we were last out here doing a story about 3 hours ago. It's still snowing, but it's, as you said before, you can actually see several blocks, even a half mile away, whereas earlier this afternoon you were barely able to see across the street. What has changed right now is the wind. That has really picked up. It is really whistling right down Michigan Avenue right now. Speaking of Michigan Avenue, let me show you the condition of the road here. When we were last out here at 4 o'clock, North Michigan Avenue was all covered with slush and snow, and traffic was moving, but it was moving rather slowly. Take a look at it now. It's just pretty much wet. It looks like the salt that they've been spreading has been effective, which I guess isn't surprising given the fact that we're not too far from the freezing mark right now. So things are moving, at least here in downtown Chicago. I'll tell you where things are not moving, though. You mentioned the airport. It's getting a little better, but we want to show you some video from a bit earlier today. And I have the very latest numbers from FlightAwareChicago.com on the situation at the airport. As of about 10 minutes ago, there had been 1,160 flights canceled at O'Hare. That's a lot of flights. 246 flights canceled at Midway. That's a total of 1,406 flights in and out of Chicago canceled today so far. That's about roughly, when you do the back of the envelope math, about 40% of the scheduled flights in and out of the city. As for delays at O'Hare right now, they're listed at 57 minutes. That's 10 minutes less than a few hours ago. At Midway, delays at 26 minutes. Of course, not all the problems at the airport. A lot of problems on the road today. If you were brave enough to venture out and drive around, you probably saw a lot of this, a lot of cars off in the ditch. We had some pictures of a couple of vehicles up in Lake County, up in the north part of Cook County, that slid off the road. Luckily, nobody seriously hurt in these two particular happenstances, but you can see it was very treacherous driving conditions. A lot of cars landing in ditches up there. The roads were very much snow covered this afternoon. Maybe getting a little better right now with the snow dissipating somewhat, but the temperatures could be dropping a little bit overnight, creating some icy and freezing conditions. And just about 15 minutes ago, I had a chance to speak by phone with Cole Stallard. He is the longtime commissioner of the city's Streets and Sanitation Department, the head of Chicago Streets and San. And I asked Cole to give us the update on where they're sitting right now. This is what he told me.
We just did a switch, so we got a fresh group on for overnight. We're going to continue to focus on our main streets to get those safe and passable. Right now, it looks like we're catching a little bit of a break. They were busy all afternoon, but we're doing some curb work, some centers, and we're still a little slushy in spots. So please give yourself enough time to get to places.
I also talked by phone with Maria Castaneda, who is the spokesperson for the Illinois Department of Transportation. She said they have their full fleet of plows and salters out right now. Speaking of plows and salters, take a look right there. There goes one. Moving pretty fast on southbound Michigan Avenue, pushing that slush out of the way and dropping salt behind it. We're seeing a lot of that out here tonight. Yeah, IDOT says Be also aware, they had an incident earlier today where apparently a plow was hit by a car. Nobody was hurt, but they want to remind drivers that as you're out there negotiating these tough roadways, especially overnight where things can get slick, to watch out for those plows, slow down when you're around them or avoid them, move to the side altogether. So, Mark, that's the situation out here. The snow is still coming down, but much lighter than what we saw a few hours ago. It's the winds that are really kicking us right now. Back to you.
Those winds are going to continue to swirl around tonight. I think they could pick up to about 30 miles per hour. Dane, earlier today we were talking to the head of Streets and Sands, and we were talking earlier about how, those snow plows, we don't always think about this, but they've got much more limited visibility than you and I have, even in our own cars during a snowstorm. I mean, sometimes you think they're up tall and, they can see everything, but not necessarily so.
Yeah, not only limited visibility, but they're big, obviously, and they're tough to negotiate, tough to move. So it's tough to take a tight corner if you're driving one of those things. So you do need to give them some some room if you're around.
Well, excellent. Well, thank you very much for that report outside. And you know what? We'll look for some dry conditions, or at least drier conditions here in the interim before that snow picks back up. And we are expecting to see more snow as we go through the rest of the overnight hours. So we're not done with accumulation quite yet. We've got temperatures, again, that'll be hovering right around the upper 20s and low 30s. And you can see, again, this is a pretty vast snow system stretching from the Canadian border all the way down to southern Indiana and into West Virginia, now heading into Pennsylvania. Although the heaviest snowfall will be coming down right here across our part of the Midwest, because the low will be trekking to the north and to the northeast. And that will give New England and parts of the East Coast a little bit of a splash. But the bulk of the snowfall will be right here. All right, there's the low pressure right over the Quad Cities. And watch as it continues off to the north and northeast right over Chicago. This takes us to 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Again, you can see snowfall coming down for a good portion of the overnight hours. And even at 8 o'clock, most of the snow tapering off, but still some little snow bands still possibly coming through the area. We'll call those snow showers that will likely set up during the morning before this whole thing pulls away. So we're going from 8 o'clock into 2:30 in the afternoon. Again, we're drawing out here. Meanwhile, if you're traveling around the other side of the big pond up to the east side of Lake Michigan, along the shores of western Michigan, or anywhere across the state of Michigan, you can still see there's some snow showers coming off the lake. Those will be lake effect snow showers, not affecting us here in Chicago. Most of northwest Indiana misses out on that, but Berrien County in Michigan, you could see some snow showers there. Again, this is 2:30 tomorrow during the afternoon. And look at that, up in Lake County, our forecast models hinting at a little peak of sunshine briefly, and by 7 o'clock, some partial clearing across parts of the area. That will be more the exception than the rule. High pressure charges in on Monday, keeps us dry the early part of the day, but oh no, here comes another area of snow. This should be light snowfall, maybe 1 to 2 to 3 inches of snow, fast moving system, and not quite as much moisture, but just when you think you got shoveled out, here comes another dust up. Another couple of inches of snowfall coming in on Monday night. Again, the snowfall that is coming our way now is primarily wet, heavy snow. This started out as pretty much dry snow, but the character of the snow has changed to a certain extent, so be careful shoveling. No heart attacks needed here. And additional forecast amounts taking us through Monday. Futurecast snow showing an additional 2 to 4 inches for most of us, with some areas perhaps a little more. You see some 4 to 8 from Midway down to Chicago Heights, some 4 to 8 amounts in our forecast models back up North Shore, and certainly some heavier snowfall, again, with some lake enhancement in the southwestern portion of Michigan. So your satellite and radar showing some snowfall still out there. Snowfall still down to our south. It still has to migrate through, so much of the overnight hours will remain snowy. Again, Futurecast showing that snow sliding through. 11:30 this evening. Look at this. The forecast wants to bring in a little freezing precip. We told you this was a possibility well south of Interstate 80, and that's that pink area from Kankakee back through the Kankakee River Basin. Staying south of the city, and not until tomorrow morning does the snow pretty much push out, but even at 8:15, the last little hurrah a last little band of some snow showers still around before we dry out on Monday, before Monday night brings us that next shot of snowfall coming in. And that's when we will again have the team in place to bring you the very latest information on the next round of snow coming in Monday night. All right, we'll be back coming up right here at 9 o'clock for another further update, and also after the sporting contest coming up after the football game. We'll be live on Fox 32 Chicago.